Oh howdy all, grab yourself a drink, it is time for some PathOfExile discussion. We're slowly getting into patch 3.23 hype season at the moment, but there's been no teaser announcements made today. So what I thought I would do is go over a stealth buff that took place in patch 3.22 that players didn't really notice because it was only available in Standard League. This is the buff that took place to Burial Chambers. Now Burial Chambers can't drop in patch 3.22, but existing ones can be run. And in Standard, players who have run them have found that there was a new divination card there. That divination card is the Fortunate. The Fortunate is a divination card that drops in a lot of places. The thing that makes Burial Chambers stand out is that it's a reasonably good layout, and on top of having the Fortunate, it's always had the Doctor. Being 1/8 of a Headhunter, the Doctor is a real jackpot drop. The Doctor is extremely rare. It's about 100 times as rare as the Fortunate, so you're not going to see it in most play sessions unless you're using pretty extreme juicing strategies, and even then you will sometimes go entire sessions without getting one. But the real advantage is that with the Fortunate joining the ranks of the Doctor in this map, this means that the times that you go 300 unjuiced maps or 30 juiced maps without getting a Doctor, they're not going to be as painful because you will be getting copies of the Fortunate. Generally, if you're running Elk and Go, you'll get about one Fortunate every 7 maps. But juicing your maps and or using a Magic Find strategy can increase this by a factor of 30 or even 50. So in conjunction with a high-end mapping strategy, you can get multiple copies of the Fortunate in every map, and then approximately once for every 100 copies of the Fortunate that you get, you'll also get the bonus of the Doctor as well. Anyways, all of this is predicated upon the possibility that Burial Chambers may be back on the Atlas next league. This is not guaranteed, but based on historical precedent, it's more likely than not. How does this compare to running Apothecary maps now? For example, Crimson Temple. The answer is, assuming Crimson Temple remains on the Atlas, which is not a given, Crimson Temple will come out ahead. It has the Apothecary. Now the Doctor's drop rate seems to be about 60% higher than that of the Apothecary, but the Apothecary tends to be worth 3 to 5 times as much as the Doctor, which means the Apothecary is a superior card. On top of that, Crimson Temple also has 7 years bad luck, which doesn't quite make up for not having the Fortunate, but is pretty close to it. Crimson Temple also has the Enlightened and a couple of other cards that are just small bonuses, but that do add up and make it into the better map overall in divination cards. But not every strategy is suited to the layout of Crimson Temple, and Burial Chambers generally has a better layout, albeit with a much harder boss. So that's a map you may want to consider in patch 3.23, assuming that when the patch notes do come out, which hopefully we'll get in a week and a half, they end up showing a return of Burial Chambers to the Atlas. That's all I've got for today. May your Orbs have interesting results, and may your divination card drops be fortunate.